Welcome. And today on the Authentic Man podcast, in this mini episode, I'm going to be talking about a subject that's come up a bit, right? And this is around how to get more out of life. And I'm going to be talking about how to get deeper into life. It's something that's come up with a few of my kind of coaching clients and the people that I work with. And also, if you're watching this on Instagram, you're watching this in the video form, which is perfect as well. I'm just going to get into it, like how we can get more out of life, because I think a lot of us are wanting more from life, but don't really know how, or we don't realize that we're really just skirting around the superficial edges of life. And we're not really getting deep into what's possible for us and how we could really get a lot more feeling, emotion, enjoyment, and passion from our lives, because we're just, running around. And I'll start the first kind of points is we're running around with superficial stuff. We're doing a lot of superficial, meaningless stuff, right? And I guess the question you might want to ask is, what are the signs that you're in this sort of life where you're living a superficial world? You're not really, you're not really getting the juice out of life, as I say. You're not getting the kind of the sauce out of life, And one of the first things is, and this comes up a lot when I speak to men, when I first get on like an intro coaching call, when they want some coaching, is like wanting to feel good all the time. If you find yourself always thinking, okay, what's going to make me feel good? What's going to make me feel good right now, tomorrow, next week? Yeah. And you're always chasing that feeling of goodness, that feeling of like, how can I feel this next high, this next kind of climax? That might not be a huge climax. It might just be having a nice meal all the time, right? Having some food that's not so great for you, but it makes me feel good. It makes you feel good. It might be having another drink because it makes me feel good. It might be smoking another spliff because it makes you feel good. It might be doing another line because it makes you feel good, right? Going to another party, and it's just constant. Your whole life revolves around, what can I do to make me feel good? And we're going to get into what that means you avoid, right? But we'll talk about that afterwards, right? And it ties in nicely with this one is that also it's like, where are you just seeking gratification? And it is the drink, the drugs, the partying, the women, If you're a man listening to this, the women. If you're a woman listening to this, it might be men. Attention from men, attention from women, right? I was definitely locked in that a lot of always wanting to get attention from women because it made me feel good, It's this always need to be like, let me do what makes me feel good right now in this moment, right? And without necessarily thinking long term, like, what do I really want? What's going to be really good for me long term in my life, right? Without answering that question. And again, the shallow life is always, what is easy for me to do now? What's the easy option for me to take? And we all know this. There's always an easy option. It could be, okay, there's a job in front of you. There's two jobs in front of you. One job is going to be more work, right? But actually you're going to learn more. You're going to grow more. You're going to educate yourself more. You're going to have more possibilities. It's going to be a good long-term job, right? And there's another job that's going to be nice and cushy and easy, right, for you to do. And it might even be more money. But you're not going to learn anything. You're just going to do the stuff you've been doing for years. It's just going to tick you over, right? And you take this one because you think to yourself, but the money's not as good here on this job. I'm going to be working harder. I'm going to be doing these things, that blah, 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 blah. Because it's harder. It's hard. So you take this easy option, right? But if we keep taking this easy option, our lives run afoul, right? And we do this a lot. And the same thing, it could be even in relationships. You choose the easy option. I'm going to be with this girl because, she makes me look good. She's never going to complain about anything. She's just going to be easy to be with, right? Instead of maybe someone who's going to make you grow. So that's another thing. If you're living a shallow life, you're always choosing the easy thing to do. And if you find yourself, and this is a big one for a lot of people, right? If you find yourself chasing after meaningless, shiny, make you feel good on the surface stuff, that could be money, cars, fancy clothes, fancy holidays. Like if you keep spunking £2,000 to go to Ibiza, right? Or Marbella, wherever you want to go, right? For a weekend, just to get on it and party all the time, right? Where that money could go into something a lot more beneficial to your life long term, unless you're just swimming in money, which most of the people that I know I speak to aren't, right? What are you doing? Like really, what are you doing? What are you doing that for? Like just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean this is what you should be doing, right? Because chasing these things and saying, later on, I'm just having fun. There's always a place for fun, right? Don't get me wrong. But it's when it's this constant hamster wheel of just chasing the good time, chasing the Friday night out, right? And like going for spending money. Oh, I'm going to go to gym so I look good. I'm going to do steroids so I look good. I'm going to do clenbuterol. Some of you guys are going to know what that is. Clenbuterol to make me look good, right? It's taking those shortcuts constantly. And what all this stuff is doing, right? Doing the good stuff, doing the stuff that's easy gratification, doing the stuff that's easy and chasing the shiny things. What it's stopping you from doing is go deeper into life, deeper into yourself, deeper into your friendships, deeper into your relationships, deeper into a purpose, and deeper into life's experiences. And it keeps you on the superficial level of the meaningless and easy, right? It's like, I've got an analogy and I'm thinking it's a bit like the sea, right? You could just spend your whole time just going along the top of the sea and you think, oh, that's all there is. That's all that's meaningful. Everything else is down there. I can't see what's down there, so it's dark. So I don't need to go there. I'm going to just go along this roof of the sea, right? But when you start going, if you take the option of going deeper, right? And you put on the scuba gear, right? You put on the mask, you put on the tank and you go deeper on, you find there is a wealth of things under there to explore. And you are the same. Your mind is the same. Your emotions are the same. Your relationships are the same. Your friendships are the same. If you spend the time to do the hard stuff and get a bit deeper, and it's not that hard. It's just, a few things. Maybe it's asking some questions of yourself, And the thing I like to always ask at this point, people, when they're like, oh, but I'm going deep. I don't want to go any deeper. I'm enjoying where I am now. Is like, what are you afraid of? What are you scared of? And what are you avoiding? Because we've all got answers to those questions, right? We're scared of things, we avoid things, and we want to run away from certain things. And it's okay, right? But admit it to yourself. Write them down, journal it. A lot of the time you think if you write something down, it becomes more real. But actually when you write something down, it becomes less real. Because when it's on the paper, you see it in comparison to when it's in your head. And when it's in your head, it seems like it's a massive thing. It's a big deal. And it's not. So, how can you go deeper, right? First of all, you start thinking a bit more long term. Like, what are you about? What is your life about? Where do you want to be? And start thinking about plotting yourself there instead of just taking every day as it comes. There's a place for that. But there's also a place for making some plans, creating some direction, creating some purpose in your life, right? Start to look for purpose that's outside of, looking good. Other people looking at you thinking, oh, he's a cool guy. That's not purpose. That's just external gratification, right? How can you become internally referenced and be like, I am doing what I am about, not caring that others think? Because when you're just looking at the shiny things in life, you're always looking for other people to reassure you and tell you, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Yeah, you're cool. Yeah, you're great. And a lot of us men get really stuck in this. Like, don't get me wrong. And one of the ways we get stuck in this is women, chasing sex. I was there. I've been there. I did that for a lot of years. So I know it really well. And it just takes up a lot of energy and time, and it takes you away from your path. It takes you away from your life's path, your spiritual path, the path you're meant to tread to take you somewhere meaningful and advance your lineage, advance your ancestors from where they were into something greater. Your evolution, we evolve, right? And you are part of evolution. You are part of your family's evolution. So if you're not taking your family forward from where they were, you are letting down the evolution. You are stopping the evolution, right? It's a big point. So start making an effort, right, in things to push yourself forward, right? To engage in things that are difficult. Engage in things that are hard. Like, okay, want to run a marathon, that's hard. Cool, jump on it. Get involved. Maybe you want to switch career, but it's going to be hard. Okay, get involved, go and do it. Because if you don't, you're just going to stay stuck. You're not going to be moving anywhere and you're going to be unhappy, right? Another thing you want to start doing is start asking yourself the hard questions. Like, where do I want to go? Where do I want to be in 5-10 years? What sort of person do I want to be in a few years' time? What sort of family do I want to raise? If that's your thing. Or what do I want my children to be like? What sort of man do I want to be to my wife? Or what sort of woman do I want to be to my husband? Or what sort of man do I want to be to my husband? And what sort of woman do I want to be to my wife? Right? Ask yourself these harder questions and see what comes up and start writing things down. And ask other people hard questions. Like, why are you doing that? That's a good question to ask people. Why are you doing that? Or ask them about themselves. Ask them how they feel about things. If they've had tough times, ask them how they feel. Ask them why they've avoided certain things. Actually get to know people. Instead of just having fun all the time, actually get to know people. Because when you can share a deeper sense of who you are, you feel more bonded. You won't feel so lonely. Because when you're just running around on these instant gratification life, you feel quite lonely there because you don't really know anyone very well, right? So spend the time to get deeper into people, deeper into yourself as well, your feelings. Like start looking at your past upset and hurt, right? That's another place to start looking. Like, why am I avoiding relationships? Or why am I anxious in relationships? Why do I not feel I'm good enough? Why do I chase external gratification? Ask yourself these questions, right? And if you're struggling to answer yourself these questions, then find someone you can speak to about it. Maybe a therapist, maybe a coach, maybe even a trusted elder or an uncle, whatever. But sit down with these sorts of questions because they're really important to ask. And the last point here around getting deeper into life is start to take responsibility. Stop blaming outwardly for the state of the life or the things you do have or you don't have and saying, oh, it's because of so-and-so and so-and-so. And take responsibility for how your life is panning out and for the things that you want. Because that's incredibly important for you, right? Is to take responsibility for what it is going on in your life and what's not going on in your life, right? So this has been a quick one from me. I'm just going to let you know about things I've got coming up, because I've got a few workshops coming up and I need to read these out. So I've got about 5 or 6 workshops coming up in the next 2 months that people will be interested. I've got Being Authentically Attractive. That's on the 19th of August. I've run this once before. Everyone really loved it. So I'm running it again. I'm going to put a link to all this in the show notes, or you can find them in my bio on Instagram. The Art of Foreplay. This is a fun workshop. I really like this one. I've been running this for a while. That's on the 25th of August. Mindful Masturbation for Men. Now, this is a new workshop. I haven't run this one before. This is all about how, as men, we can be more deeply connected to ourselves and our bodies through masturbation, turning our masturbation into also our wanking pretty much into a form of meditation and mindfulness, instead of creating more separation for it, right? Through using porn, doing it when we're angry or frustrated and letting out emotion, and actually we're using it to go deeper inside ourselves to feel ourselves more deeply and to learn more about ourselves. And the next one I've got is Boost Your Sexual Performance, which is a really beautiful workshop I run, teaching you various techniques in a way that you can be more present during sex, but also you can last longer in bed. And the goal really of this workshop is you will leave all the tools you need to be able to last as long as you choose to, right? That's for the guys again. As a note, the Being Authentically Attractive, that one's open to women as well. That's open to all genders. And I got another workshop on the 22nd of September, which is Creating the Spark, which is all about how we can create attraction, co-create attraction when we're dating through conversation, right? Because it's a really important part of dating. Obviously, when everyone's going out again now, you need a bit of this help. So that's there. Something I think I'm going to run again is I had a 3-week sexual performance program where I guided a group of men over 3 weeks with videos, with exercises, with daily check-ins, and sharing and men's circles where we shared and talked about performance as a thing, sexual performance. So I'm going to run that again. I haven't got dates for that, but if you're interested, drop me a message and I'll add you to the list. I've got a little list and I'm only probably going to have 10 men on there max. So I might never advertise it because I've already got about half those places filled. So if you're interested, let me know about that. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I want to say today. Yeah, it's a really big topic for me, this. Getting more out of life, because these are all things that I do and I've done. Because I was in a place where I wasn't getting much out of life because I was living superficially, just trying to party and have fun, right? And I realized that so much more when we go deeper into life and put to bed some of these instant gratification things and take on deeper pursuits. So if you're interested in talking to me a bit more how I did that and maybe coaching you through that, drop me a message on Instagram's a good one, which is at @theauthenticman_, or you can find me at my email address is hello@theauthenticman.net. It's a good one. So yeah, I think those are probably the best place to find me. You can find my website as well, which is www.theauthenticman.net. But until next week, people, ciao, ciao.